pig helps a child find his lost toy, and the reunion will warm your heart. In the quaint little town of Willow Creek, where the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink every evening, there lived a curious boy named Oliver Thompson. At just 8 years old, Oliver was known for his wild imagination and his penchant for adventure. With tousled brown hair and big, expressive hazel eyes, he was the kind of child who could turn a mundane afternoon into a thrilling expedition. However, despite his adventurous spirit, Oliver carried a heavy heart. He was often shy and struggled to make friends at school. His only true companion was a plush toy pig named Mr. Snuffles, a gift from his late grandmother. Mr. Snuffles was more than just a toy to Oliver. He was a confidant, a partner in crime, and the keeper of all his secrets. The two were inseparable, sharing countless adventures in the backyard, where Oliver would imagine they were exploring distant lands filled with dragons and treasure. One sunny Saturday morning, Oliver decided to venture into the nearby woods, a place he had always been warned about but felt drawn to nonetheless. The woods were filled with towering trees and the sounds of chirping birds, creating an enchanting atmosphere that beckoned him closer. As he stepped into the dappled sunlight filtering through the leaves, he clutched Mr. Snuffles tightly, whispering, "Let's go find a treasure today." As they wandered deeper into the woods, Oliver's imagination soared. He envisioned himself as a brave explorer, navigating through a magical kingdom. Hours passed in blissful exploration until, suddenly, he realized something was terribly wrong. In the excitement of pretending to battle imaginary foes, he had let go of Mr. Snuffles. Panic surged through him as he retraced his steps, calling out, "Mr. Snuffles, where are you?" The woods, once a place of wonder, now felt intimidating and dark. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows, Oliver's heart raced with fear. He could feel tears prickling at the corners of his eyes. "I can't lose you, Mr. Snuffles," he cried out, his voice trembling. Just as despair began to take hold, a rustle in the bushes caught his attention. From the underbrush emerged a small, scruffy piglet, no bigger than a loaf of bread. Its fur was a mix of brown and white, and its big, round eyes sparkled with curiosity. The little piglet approached Oliver cautiously, sniffing the air as if sensing his distress. "Hi there, little one," Oliver said, wiping his tears. "Have you seen my pig? He's a toy, but he means the world to me." The piglet tilted its head, as if understanding, and in that moment, an unspoken connection formed between them. "Maybe you can help me find him," Oliver suggested, feeling a flicker of hope. The piglet oinked softly, as if agreeing to join him on this mission. "I'll call you Snickers," Oliver declared, naming his new companion after the candy bar he loved. With Snickers by his side, Oliver felt a renewed sense of bravery. Together, they ventured deeper into the woods, calling out for Mr. Snuffles. As they searched, Oliver shared stories of his adventures with the toy pig, his voice growing stronger with each tale. "Mr. Snuffles has fought dragons, sailed on pirate ships, and even dived into the ocean to find treasure. He's the bravest pig I know," Oliver exclaimed, his heart swelling with love for his lost friend. The sun began to set, painting the sky in deep hues of purple and blue. But Oliver refused to give up, with Snickers leading the way. They explored every nook and cranny of the forest. Just when Oliver thought all hope was lost, Snickers suddenly perked up, sniffing the ground intently. "Do you smell something?" Oliver asked, following the piglet closely. Snickers trotted ahead, weaving through the trees, and Oliver's heart raced with anticipation. Could it be? Had they found a clue? As they turned a corner, Oliver's heart leaped. There, nestled among the roots of a great oak tree, was a familiar shape. "Mr. Snuffles," He was dirty but intact, his button eyes still shining brightly. "Mr. Snuffles!" Oliver shouted, rushing forward to scoop him up. Tears of joy streamed down his face as he hugged the toy tightly. Snickers oinked excitedly, dancing around Oliver, who couldn't contain his happiness. "We did it, Snickers! We found him!" He cheered, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude for his new friend. As they made their way back through the woods, the bond between Oliver and Snickers deepened. The little piglet had not only helped him find his beloved toy, but had also shown him the power of friendship and bravery. "Thank you for being so brave, Snickers," Oliver said, looking down at the piglet, who trotted happily beside him. "I think we're going to be the best of friends." The next few days were filled with joy and adventure for Oliver and Snickers. The little piglet quickly became a beloved member of the Thompson household. Oliver's parents, initially surprised by their son's new friend, soon warmed to Snickers' playful antics and gentle nature. They watched with smiles as Oliver and Snickers explored the backyard, built forts, and created imaginary worlds together. One afternoon, while playing in the garden, Oliver's mother, Mrs. Thompson, called out, "Oliver, it's time to come inside for lunch." "Just a minute, Mom," Oliver replied, his voice filled with excitement. He was in the middle of a grand adventure, pretending that he and Snickers were on a quest to find the legendary golden acorn, said to grant wishes to those pure of heart. "Snickers, we have to find the golden acorn before lunch," Oliver declared, his eyes sparkling with determination. The piglet oinked in agreement, and they set off on their imaginary quest, searching under bushes and behind trees. As they played, Oliver's heart swelled with happiness. For the first time in a long while, he felt truly connected to someone. Snickers was not just a pet, he was a companion who understood him in a way that no one else did. They shared secrets, laughter, and dreams, and Oliver felt a sense of belonging that had eluded him at school. However, as the days turned into weeks, Oliver began to notice something strange about Snickers. The little piglet had a knack for finding things, lost toys, shiny rocks, and even a few of Oliver's missing socks. It was as if Snickers had a sixth sense for uncovering hidden treasures. One day, while playing in the park, Oliver and Snickers stumbled upon a group of children playing soccer. Oliver watched from the sidelines, feeling a familiar pang of loneliness. He wanted to join in, but the thought of approaching the other kids made his stomach twist with anxiety. "Come on, Snickers," he said softly. "Let's go back to the swings." But Snickers had other ideas. The piglet trotted over to the group, oinking excitedly as if trying to get their attention. "Look, a pig!" one of the children exclaimed, pointing at Snickers. The other kids turned, their faces lighting up with delight. "Can we pet him?" another child asked, running over. Oliver hesitated, unsure of what to do. But as he watched Snickers bask in the attention, he felt a surge of courage. "Sure, he loves to play," he called out, joining the group. To his surprise, the children welcomed him with open arms. They laughed and played with Snickers, who reveled in the attention, rolling over for belly rubs and chasing after fallen leaves. Oliver felt a warmth spread through him as he joined in the fun, kicking the soccer ball and laughing with the other kids. "Your pig is awesome," one boy said, grinning. "Can he do tricks?" Oliver beamed with pride. "He can find things. He found my toy pig when I lost him in the woods." "Really? That's so cool," another girl exclaimed. "Can we see him do it?" Feeling a rush of excitement, Oliver nodded. "Let's find something for him to look for." The children scattered, searching for small items to hide. They returned with a shiny marble, a colorful bracelet, and a small toy car. Oliver placed the items in a pile and said, "Okay, Snickers, Find the marble. Snickers sniffed the air, his little nose twitching with determination. He trotted around, sniffing the ground, and after a few moments, he stopped. His ears perked up. He began to dig at the base of a nearby tree, and to everyone's amazement, he unearthed the marble. Wow! He's amazing, one of the kids shouted, clapping their hands in delight. Oliver's heart swelled with pride as he watched Snickers perform. The other children cheered, and for the first time, Oliver felt like he belonged. They spent the afternoon playing games, and Snickers became the star of the show, bringing laughter and joy to everyone around. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, Oliver felt a sense of happiness he had never experienced before. He had made new friends, and Snickers had helped him break down the walls of loneliness that had surrounded him for so long. However, as they walked home, Oliver couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Snickers had been acting a bit strange since their adventure in the woods. He seemed more restless, often staring off into the distance as if he were waiting for something. That night, as Oliver lay in bed, he couldn't help but worry. "What's wrong, Snickers?" he whispered, looking at the piglet curled up at the foot of his bed. "Are you okay?" Snickers looked up at him, his eyes wide and innocent. Oliver reached down to scratch behind his ears, and the piglet sighed contentedly. "I just want you to be happy," Oliver said softly. "You're my best friend." The next day, Oliver decided to take Snickers back to the woods. He wanted to explore the area where they had found Mr. Snuffles, hoping to uncover more hidden treasures. As they ventured into the familiar forest, Oliver felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. "Let's see if you can find anything else today, Snickers," he encouraged, his voice echoing through the trees. The piglet oinked enthusiastically, and they began their search. As they wandered deeper into the woods, Oliver felt a sense of wonder wash over him. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating a magical atmosphere. He and Snickers explored every nook and cranny, but as the hours passed, they found nothing of interest. Just as Oliver was about to suggest they head back, Snickers suddenly stopped. His ears perked up. He sniffed the ground, his little tail wagging with excitement. "What is it, boy?" Oliver asked, his heart racing with anticipation. Snickers began to dig at the base of a large tree, his hooves working furiously. Oliver watched in awe, wondering what treasure lay buried beneath the earth. After a few moments, Snickers unearthed a small, weathered box. "Wow! What did you find?" Oliver exclaimed, rushing over to inspect the discovery. The box was covered in dirt and moss, but it had intricate carvings on its surface. With trembling hands, Oliver opened the box, revealing a collection of old trinkets, broken jewelry, faded photographs, and a small, tarnished key. "This must have belonged to someone long ago," he said, his voice filled with wonder. As he sifted through the items, a sense of connection washed over him. Each piece told a story, a glimpse into someone's life. But as he held the key in his hand, a strange feeling washed over him. It felt significant, as if it were meant for something special. "Do you think it opened something?" Oliver wondered aloud, looking at Snickers, who oinked in response. With a newfound sense of purpose, Oliver decided they would search for whatever the key unlocked. "Let's go on another adventure, Snickers. We have a mystery to solve." As they made their way through the woods, Oliver felt a thrill of excitement. The bond between him and Snickers had grown stronger, and together, they were ready to uncover the secrets hidden within the forest. The sun hung high in the sky as Oliver and Snickers continued their quest, the little piglet trotting eagerly beside him. The discovery of the mysterious box and its contents had ignited a spark of adventure in Oliver's heart. He felt a sense of purpose, as if they were on the brink of uncovering something truly extraordinary. "Okay, Snickers," Oliver said, glancing at the tarnished key in his hand. "We need to find out what this opens. There must be something in these woods that it belongs to." They wandered deeper into the forest, the trees growing taller and the underbrush thicker. Oliver's imagination ran wild with possibilities. What if they found a hidden treasure chest? Or a secret door to a magical realm? The thought made his heart race with excitement. As they explored, Oliver began to notice the subtle changes in the environment. The air felt cooler, and the sounds of the forest shifted. The cheerful chirping of birds was replaced by an eerie silence, and the sunlight seemed to dim as they ventured further from the familiar paths. "Do you feel that, Snickers?" Oliver asked, glancing down at his companion. The piglet looked up at him, his eyes wide and alert. "It's like the forest is watching us." Just then, they stumbled upon a clearing, and Oliver's breath caught in his throat. In the center stood an ancient, gnarled tree, its trunk twisted and knotted with age. At its base was a small, weathered door, almost hidden by the roots and foliage. The door was adorned with intricate carvings that mirrored the designs on the box they had found. "Could this be it?" Oliver whispered, his heart pounding with anticipation. He approached the door, kneeling down to examine it closely. The carvings depicted scenes of animals and children playing together. A celebration of friendship and adventure. "Snickers, this has to be the place," Oliver exclaimed, holding up the key. "Let's see if it fits." With trembling hands, he inserted the key into the lock. It turned with a satisfying click, and the door creaked open, revealing a dark passageway that seemed to lead into the heart of the tree. A rush of cool air escaped from within, carrying with it the scent of earth and mystery. "Are you ready, Snickers?" Oliver asked, glancing back at the piglet. Snickers oinked softly, his eyes shining with curiosity. Taking a deep breath, Oliver stepped inside, the darkness enveloping them like a cloak. As they ventured deeper into the passage, Oliver's heart raced with a mix of fear and excitement. The walls were lined with roots and moss, and the air was thick with the scent of damp earth. He could hear the faint sound of dripping water echoing in the distance. "Stay close, Snickers," he whispered, feeling a sense of protectiveness over his little friend. They moved cautiously, the darkness swallowing them whole. Just as Oliver began to doubt their decision, they emerged into a large underground chamber illuminated by a soft, ethereal glow. The sight before them took Oliver's breath away. The chamber was filled with shimmering crystals that sparkled like stars, casting a kaleidoscope of colors across the walls. In the center stood a pedestal, and atop it rested a beautiful, ornate box that mirrored the one they had found earlier. "Look at that, Snickers!" Oliver exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's like a treasure." As they approached the pedestal, Oliver felt a sense of reverence wash over him. The box was adorned with intricate designs, and he could see that it was locked, just like the first one. "I wonder if this key will work here too," he mused, holding up the tarnished key. With a sense of purpose, he inserted the key into the lock. It turned smoothly, and the lid of the box creaked open, revealing a collection of beautiful trinkets, glistening gemstones, delicate jewelry, and small tokens that seemed to tell stories of their own. "Wow! This is incredible!" Oliver gasped, his heart racing with excitement. He reached in to touch the treasures, feeling a sense of connection to the past. Each item seemed to hold a memory, a piece of someone's life. But as he explored the contents, a sudden noise echoed through the chamber, causing Oliver to freeze. The ground trembled slightly, and he turned to see a shadow moving in the darkness. "Snickers, did you hear that?" he whispered, his voice barely above a breath. The piglet oinked nervously, his ears perked up as he scanned the room. From the shadows emerged a figure, a tall, imposing man with a weathered face and piercing eyes. He wore a cloak that seemed to blend into the darkness, and his presence filled the chamber with an air of authority. "Who dares to enter my sanctuary?" the man demanded, his voice deep and resonant. Oliver's heart raced as he stepped back, instinctively placing himself in front of Snickers. I'm Oliver," he stammered, trying to sound brave. "We found a key, and we wanted to see what was inside." The man's gaze softened slightly as he looked at the treasures. "You have uncovered the secrets of the forest," he said, his tone shifting. "But with great discovery comes great responsibility." "What do you mean?" Oliver asked, his curiosity piqued despite his fear. "The treasures you see before you are not mere trinkets," the man explained. "They hold the memories and dreams of those who came before you. They are meant to be cherished, not taken lightly." Oliver felt a wave of understanding wash over him. "I didn't mean to intrude. I just wanted to find something special," he said, his voice trembling. "I thought it might help me understand the stories of the forest." The man studied Oliver for a moment, and then a small smile crept onto his face. "You have a brave heart, young one. It is rare to find someone who seeks to understand rather than to possess." With that, the man stepped aside, gesturing for Oliver and Snickers to approach the pedestal. "You may take one item from this collection, but choose wisely. It must resonate with your heart and your journey." Oliver's eyes widened in disbelief. "Really? Just one?" He looked over the treasures, each one more beautiful than the last. But as he scanned the collection, his gaze fell upon a small, delicate locket. It was intricately designed, with tiny engravings of animals dancing around a heart. "This one," Oliver said, reaching for the locket. "It reminds me of Snickers and all the adventures we've had together." The man nodded approvingly. "A wise choice. That locket holds the essence of companionship and loyalty. May it serve you well on your journey." As Oliver clasped the locket around his neck, he felt a warmth spread through him. It was as if the locket had awakened something deep within his heart, a reminder of the bond he shared with Snickers and the adventures that lay ahead. "Thank you," Oliver said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I promise to cherish it." With a nod, the man stepped back into the shadows, his figure fading into the darkness. "Remember, young one, the forest is alive with stories. Listen to its whispers, and you will find your way." As the chamber began to tremble again, Oliver turned to Snickers, who looked up at him with wide eyes. "We should go, Snickers. I think the forest wants us to leave." They hurried back through the passage, the glow of the crystals fading behind them. As they emerged into the sunlight, Oliver felt a sense of exhilaration wash over him. They had uncovered a hidden treasure, forged a deeper bond, and learned the importance of responsibility and friendship. "Snickers! We did it!" Oliver exclaimed, hugging the piglet tightly. "We found something truly special." But as they made their way back through the woods, Oliver couldn't shake the feeling that their adventure was far from over. The forest held many more secrets, and he was determined to uncover them all. With Snickers by his side. As Oliver and Snickers emerged from the woods, the sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over Willow Creek. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the sounds of laughter echoed from nearby houses. Oliver felt a sense of triumph swell within him. But he also carried a newfound weight of responsibility. The treasures they had discovered were not just relics, they were stories waiting to be told. "Let's go home, Snickers," Oliver said, glancing down at his little companion. "I can't wait to tell Mom and Dad about our adventure." As they walked, Oliver's mind raced with thoughts of the locket hanging around his neck. It felt warm against his skin, a constant reminder of the bond he shared with Snickers and the lessons he had learned in the forest. He knew he wanted to share this experience with his family, to help them understand the magic that existed just beyond their backyard. When they arrived home, Oliver burst through the door, his excitement bubbling over. "Mom, Dad, you won't believe what we found." His parents looked up from the kitchen table, where they were preparing dinner. Mrs. Thompson smiled warmly, while Mr. Thompson raised an eyebrow, intrigued by his son's enthusiasm. "What is it, Oliver?" his mother asked, wiping her hands on a dish towel. "We found a secret door in the woods," Oliver exclaimed, his eyes shining. "And inside, there was a treasure of memories and stories. I even got this locket." He pulled the locket from beneath his shirt, holding it up for them to see. Mr. Thompson leaned closer, examining the delicate piece of jewelry. "That's beautiful, Oliver. But are you sure it's safe to go exploring in the woods alone?" Oliver's heart sank slightly at his father's concern. "I wasn't alone. Snickers was with me the whole time." He gestured to the piglet, who was happily snuffling around the kitchen, exploring the new environment. Mrs. Thompson chuckled, watching Snickers with amusement. "Well, it seems like you had quite the adventure. But remember, it's important to be careful out there." "I know, Mom," Oliver replied, his voice earnest. "But it was amazing. There's so much more to the forest than we realize. I want to explore it more, to learn about the stories hidden there." His parents exchanged glances, and Oliver could see the concern in their eyes. "We'll talk about it, Oliver," Mr. Thompson said gently. "But for now, let's focus on dinner. You can tell us more about your adventure while we eat." As they sat down to dinner, Oliver shared every detail of their journey, the discovery of the box, the treasures inside, and the mysterious man who had given him the locket. His parents listened intently, their expressions shifting from concern to fascination. "That sounds incredible, Oliver," Mrs. Thompson said, her eyes sparkling. "It's wonderful that you found something so special." After dinner, Oliver felt a surge of energy. He wanted to return to the woods, to explore more and uncover the secrets that lay hidden beneath the trees. "Can I go back tomorrow?" he asked, his voice filled with hope. Mr. Thompson hesitated, glancing at his wife. "How about we all go as a family this weekend?" he suggested. "That way, we can explore together, and you can show us what you found." Oliver's heart soared at the idea. "Really? That would be amazing!" As the evening wore on, Oliver and Snickers settled down in the living room, the piglet curling up at his feet. Oliver couldn't help but feel grateful for the bond they shared. Snickers had not only helped him find Mr. Snuffles but had also opened up a world of adventure and friendship. That night, as Oliver lay in bed, he clutched the locket tightly, feeling its warmth against his palm. He closed his eyes, imagining all the stories waiting to be discovered in the forest. He drifted off to sleep, dreaming of magical creatures and hidden treasures. The next morning, Oliver awoke with a sense of purpose. He wanted to prepare for their family adventure. So he grabbed a notebook and began to jot down everything he could remember about the forest, the paths they had taken, the treasures they had found, and the stories he wanted to share. "Snickers, we're going to be explorers today," he said excitedly, and the piglet oinked in agreement, as if he understood the importance of the day ahead. As the weekend approached, Oliver's excitement grew. He spent the days leading up to their adventure gathering supplies, snacks, a flashlight, and a camera to capture their journey. He even made a map of the areas he wanted to explore, marking the spot where they had found the mysterious door. Finally, Saturday arrived, and the Thompson family set out for the woods. Oliver could hardly contain his excitement as they walked along the familiar path, Snickers trotting happily beside him. "Are you ready for an adventure?" Oliver asked, looking up at his parents. They smiled, their faces filled with encouragement. "Lead the way, Oliver," Mr. Thompson said, and Oliver felt a surge of pride as he took the lead. As they entered the woods, Oliver pointed out the landmarks he had noted on his map. "This is where we found Mr. Snuffles," he exclaimed, leading them to the spot where he had lost his beloved toy. "And over here is where Snickers found the treasure box." His parents listened intently, their eyes wide with wonder as they followed him deeper into the forest. The trees towered above them, and the sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating a magical atmosphere. After a while, they reached the clearing where the ancient tree stood. Oliver's heart raced as he approached the gnarled trunk, pointing out the small door at its base. "This is it. This is where we found the treasures." Mrs. Thompson knelt down, examining the door closely. "It's incredible, Oliver. I can't believe you discovered this all on your own. Can we go inside?" Oliver asked, his voice filled with anticipation. Mr. Thompson nodded, and together they opened the door, revealing the dark passageway. Oliver felt a thrill of excitement as they stepped inside, the cool air enveloping them once more. As they made their way through the passage, Oliver shared the story of the treasures they had found and the mysterious man who had guarded the chamber. His parents listened with rapt attention, their imaginations ignited by his words. When they reached the underground chamber, Oliver's eyes widened in awe. "Look at all the crystals," he exclaimed, pointing to the shimmering walls. "It's even more beautiful than I remembered." The family marveled at the sight, their voices echoing in the chamber. Oliver felt a sense of pride swell within him as he watched his parents explore the treasures, their faces filled with wonder. "Oliver, this is truly remarkable," Mr. Thompson said, picking up a small gemstone. "You've uncovered something special here." As they explored the chamber together, Oliver felt a sense of belonging wash over him. He had shared his adventure with his family, and they were experiencing the magic of the forest together. But as they prepared to leave, Oliver noticed something out of the corner of his eye. A flicker of movement caught his attention, and he turned to see the shadowy figure of the man from before standing at the entrance of the chamber. "Oliver," the man said, his voice echoing softly, "you have brought your family to witness the magic of the forest. Remember, the stories you uncover are meant to be shared, but they also come with a responsibility." Oliver nodded, understanding the weight of the man's words. "I promise to cherish the stories and share them with others," he said earnestly. The man smiled, his expression warm. "Then you are truly worthy of the treasures you have found. May your adventures continue, and may you always seek the stories hidden in the world around you." With that, the man faded back into the shadows, leaving Oliver and his family in awe. They exchanged glances, their hearts filled with wonder and gratitude. As they made their way back through the passage and into the sunlight, Oliver felt a sense of fulfillment. He had not only discovered the magic of the forest but had also strengthened the bond with his family. Together, they had created memories that would last a lifetime. "Thank you for coming with me," Oliver said, looking up at his parents. "This was the best adventure ever." Mrs. Thompson smiled, wrapping her arm around him. "We're so proud of you, Oliver. You've shown us the beauty of the forest and the importance of friendship." As they walked home, Oliver felt a sense of peace settle over him. The forest held many more secrets, and he was eager to uncover them all, with Snickers and his family by his side. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over Willow Creek, Oliver and his family returned home, their hearts full of joy and wonder. The adventure in the woods had not only deepened their bond but had also opened their eyes to the magic that lay just beyond their backyard. That evening, as they gathered around the dinner table, Oliver couldn't contain his excitement. "I can't wait to tell my friends about the treasures we found," he exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "And the man who guards the forest. They'll never believe it." Mrs. Thompson smiled, serving dinner. "You should invite them over for a picnic in the backyard. You can share your stories and maybe even show them Snickers." Oliver's heart raced at the thought. "That's a great idea, Mom. I want everyone to know about the magic of the forest and how special Snickers is." After dinner, Oliver took Snickers outside, the piglet trotting happily beside him. The stars twinkled overhead, and the cool evening breeze rustled the leaves of the trees. Oliver felt a sense of peace wash over him as he sat on the grass, Snickers curling up next to him. "Do you think we'll have more adventures, Snickers?" Oliver asked, scratching behind the piglet's ears. "There's so much more to explore." Snickers oinked softly, as if in agreement, and Oliver smiled. He knew that their journey was just beginning. The bond they shared had transformed his life, helping him find courage and friendship in unexpected places. The next day, Oliver invited his friends over for a picnic. He set up a blanket in the backyard, filled with snacks and drinks, and eagerly awaited their arrival. When his friends arrived, they were greeted by the sight of Snickers, who was happily munching on some apples. "Whoa! Is that a real pig?" one of his friends, Jake, exclaimed, his eyes wide with excitement. "Yep, this is Snickers. He's my best friend," Oliver said proudly, beaming with joy. As they settled down for the picnic, Oliver shared the story of their adventure in the woods, the secret door, the treasures, and the mysterious man who had entrusted him with the locket. His friends listened in awe, their imaginations ignited by his words. "Can we go explore the woods too?" another friend, Mia, asked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Absolutely. There's so much to see," Oliver replied, feeling a surge of excitement. "We can go on a treasure hunt together." The children spent the afternoon playing games, sharing stories, and enjoying the sunshine. Snickers became the star of the show, delighting everyone with his playful antics. Oliver felt a sense of belonging he had longed for, surrounded by friends who appreciated the magic of adventure just as much as he did. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the backyard, Oliver gathered his friends around. "I want to show you something special," he said, pulling the locket from around his neck. "This is a reminder of the bond I share with Snickers and the adventures we've had together." He opened the locket, revealing a small picture of him and Snickers, taken during one of their many escapades. "This locket holds the stories of our friendship, and I want each of you to have one too, something to remind you of our adventures together." His friends looked at him with admiration, and Oliver felt a warmth spread through him. They each took turns holding the locket, sharing their own stories of friendship and adventure. As the evening drew to a close, Oliver felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. He had not only shared his journey with his friends but had also created new memories that would last a lifetime. The magic of the forest had brought them together, and he knew that their adventures were far from over. In the weeks that followed, Oliver, Snickers, and his friends explored the woods together, uncovering hidden paths, discovering new treasures, and creating stories that would be passed down for generations. They learned to appreciate the beauty of nature and the importance of friendship, forging bonds that would last a lifetime. One day, as they sat around a campfire in the backyard, roasting marshmallows and sharing stories, Oliver looked around at his friends and Snickers, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "I'm so glad we found each other," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "You all make every adventure even more special." Snickers oinked softly, snuggling closer to Oliver, and the group erupted in laughter. They knew that together, they could face any challenge and uncover any mystery that lay ahead. As the stars twinkled above them, Oliver felt a sense of wonder and hope. The world was filled with stories waiting to be discovered, and he was ready to embrace every moment with his friends and his beloved Piglet by his side. In the heart of Willow Creek, where dreams intertwined with reality, Oliver had found not only a friend in Snickers but also a family in his community. Together, they would continue to explore the magic of the world around them, forever bound by the extraordinary adventures they shared. And so, the story of Oliver and Snickers became a cherished tale in Willow Creek, a reminder of the bravery, companionship, and the extraordinary bonds that exist between humans and animals. Their adventures would inspire others to seek out the magic in their own lives, to cherish the friendships they formed, and to embrace the beauty of the world around them.
Thanks for joining us on this journey with our furry champions. If you enjoyed this heartwarming story, don't forget to subscribe to Furry Champions. Hit that like button and share with friends to spread the love for our furry friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, celebrate the amazing bond between humans and animals. See you in the next video.